Daai mense dink dis vind van bus. Bus tot die en dan ja. Nee, hy kom van 'n plek waar hy Hij kan dan iets besluiten. Hij kan nog een best. Ik zeg mij, kijk niet aan dit is voor
I made a mistake of buying I'm regretting that when I haven't used it very much because it's also and it's kind of bowed the way it's worn, like the middle is worn on the edges. So you set it up, and then you set it
Was ongelooflijk van die stroom dat je zo bij Wat is het eerder propageren met Ja, voor ons een beetje vertellen wat is dit? Wat die aan het weten. Ik heb al die. Ja, Maar ik geloof dat die webproject is een project wat en misschien ik was het wel het is maar niet zo misschien voor de ja, vertel voor het volgende misschien denk ik ik heb gelezen op de website dan laat je Zo, dus niet echt als je wat ik zeg is, wanneer dat kan nogal mag ik zeggen, ja, maar dat ik mag niet ze voelt niet gauw. Van die Turkse kust. Die tot twee jaar. Dus zij zal met footage gedaan met het allemaal dat dan kom je dan wijst het dat ik je wel dat kan je laten ik zei dat is cool je kan niet helemaal wat wat is hier in die andere ja wij zijn de rest niet zo
Kids in my
in je aardig je wat mensen ons was het leuk.
I just want to finish off this topic of the voice. I forgot to say that we want to make 3 sizes. I need some suggestions. My first sort of proposal is that's 100%. We make a 70. If you use those factors, then your 8mm bolts become 6mm or they become 10mm, and which are standard sizes. You don't have to have funny sizes in between. Of course, we can change. We don't have to keep that ratio. But what do you think of those 3 sizes? 75. Yeah.
Prof, it's going to depend on your cables distances between the bolts, isn't it? Because you just make one, it may not fit on my machine.
No.
Because the bolts don't fit on
No,
the slide.
you only use 1 slot on the machine to bolt it. You
one
don't
slot.
use 4.
Oh, okay.
Only 2 bolts.
Only
So
2
you
bolts,
either
all right.
put it down that way and you use 2 bolts, or you put it down that way and you
Okay.
use 2 bolts. The only problem is your locating blocks at the bottom have to fit into your slot. And they're normally a little bit smaller. On my machine, they're smaller, so I push the vise against the one side and then I lock it to line it up.
Prof, I just think that if I've looked at that thing, the machining on that is so perfect. That's going to be your problem.
Yeah,
That's why it's ground.
Yeah.
The thing, it feels like a hydraulic when you turn that. It's so smooth. And
So
you're
you
going to
guys,
need an expert, or you're going to have to do some scraping.
so you felt it, I think it's good quality. Then.
Yeah, oh, awesome.
Okay.
Almal steek hulle hande op wat nie so baie sal hê.
You sort of tend to leave them on a machine, 2 on one machine, and it's too big for my small machine. It only fits my medium-sized machine.
Then you could do it, the film.
Yeah.
I think you can do something with the film machine. Would that small size fit on the minimal?
Yes, that's the idea. Got a smaller slot space and a smaller slot, and also the reach it will be. That's the idea, is to approach it, the small one for the minimal. This is for the bigger standard Deco FP1, FP2, or whatever. And then we'll have a bigger one for the bigger machines, people with bigger machines.
Sounds good to me.
Pardon?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, everybody,
100,
happy with that? I'm just looking now for a project leader, which is not myself. So we're looking for some volunteer that will take this, and then one lives there and so on, but really I don't want to run the show because I've got other shows that I must run. And I'm afraid if I take on too much, then the others are going to suffer from that. So think about it and let me know if you're interested to run with this project. Okay, thanks. Dieter is going to tell us something about.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
Derek just asked me to quickly give you 2 minutes on what I've been doing there in the background. There are a couple of members of the club who are in Hermanus in Cape Town.
Ja, ek kan Hermanus kyk daar. Dit is in Australië of iemand?
Nee,
Ek kan nie,
ja, zeker in Australië.
Ja, Australië, Guangzhou, China. Washington, Hermanus, in Kaapstad and in PE.
So there was a request to see if we could either record the sessions or live stream or something. So this kind of, well, I kind of volunteered for this by accident last month. The initial idea I had was to just sort of do a quick video conference like we typically do at work. We do lots of remote work with teams in the UK and India. And we typically just use standard video conferencing software, which works pretty well over 3G, 4G, etc. But when I started looking into that, because that was my plan up to about last night, when I started looking into the free versions of that, obviously we use the paid versions. The free versions all have limitations like only a 40-minute call or only a certain number of people on the call. So it's not critical, but it's uncomfortable. It's painful if you want to do that for a 2-hour session. So then I quickly did some research just looking into live streaming and what's available out there for free. And it turns out actually the easiest free one to use is just YouTube's live streaming. So it's the first time I've done this. And basically what I had to do was just create a new account called CNC Club ZA. You won't find it on YouTube yet. I still have to figure out how to configure all of that. And then you have to enable the account, and then they wait 24 hours, presumably to avoid some sort of abuse. So I started the account last night about 8:25, and then 8:25 tonight I could start streaming. So
We're actually streaming now.
yeah, we're streaming now.
Yeah.
So the initial plan was I was just going to put my cell phone on a tripod and use that, and then when I stopped here, it said you can only do streaming from your cell phone if you have more than 10,000 subscribers. So we need another 9,000 or so. So then the only option is you can stream from your laptop, but I didn't bring a camera, I didn't bring a proper video conferencing mic or anything, because we got pretty nice ones at work, like they will easily cover this room. It's actually, there's pretty good stuff out there for relatively inexpensive. So bottom line is at the moment we're going off my laptop using the built-in webcam and using just the built-in mic, so the sound isn't fantastic. And we're testing with, what's his name?
Donnie
in Hermanus. So he's on a 4 meg Wi-Fi at home. He's struggling a bit on his laptop, and I suspect it's because the quality, it tries to give you good quality or quite high quality on the desktop. From his phone, he says it's pretty much usable, the sound isn't great. So obviously it's the first stream, we're not on a great camera, we're not on a good mic.
Yeah, we're testing.
So we're kind of, yeah. So, but bottom line is there's sort of two options. I mean, ideally if we can get the live streaming to work, and I think the next step would be someone mentioned that there is potentially an ADSL line or a fiber line here.
Professor, weet preference.
Leon was not here for long.
Yeah, I think Leon said last week that there may be one. So I think we can just find out if that's the case. Obviously, the streaming will be a lot easier because bandwidth is a bit constrained. That's the other thing. We're on my cell phone at the moment, so networks do tend to go a little up and down. But if we can get that sorted, I think that will help a lot.
Yeah.
And then next step would be once we get the line sorted, just a slightly better camera and a reasonable mic.
Yeah.
And if it still doesn't work for various reasons, the best we can do is probably just record the session and then put it on the
website.
Yeah, well, we'll actually put it on the YouTube channel with a link to the website. So we can record and then someone goes over and basically uploads it over a decent connection. So an hour or two later, the guys can watch it.
Yeah.
It won't be as interactive. If we ever get this off the ground and it really does work, you can make it quite interactive with comments and things.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That will be a much longer project.
Well, maybe what we can think of is we sort of give our peripheral guys, we switch, because you said sometimes we need to switch off the sound on their side.
Yeah, so that would be on.
So we give them
If
10
we
minutes of
had a video conference, we would have had to do that.
Yeah.
The YouTube stuff, they can't do sound, they can only type. So what you can do is there are ways to get a little sidebar here. So if we, in future, what we'll probably do is do it from the laptop where we're actually doing the presentation.
From,
And then we can see the comments on the side of this other things. But that's a process, you know.
that sounds very great.
We'll have to mature to that level.
If one wants to live stream, people in Washington, Australia are going to have time zone problems. I mean, for South Africa, we're all on the same time zone.
Yes, yes.
Washington, I promise you, can.
So in those,
You can watch it tomorrow, you can watch it next year, it doesn't matter.
yeah, I've enabled the DVR, so it will be available for another 12 hours. I'm sure there's a setting to say, well, save it now to a permanent video. I haven't checked it. I literally started the account last night, so all of this is very new to me.
This shows us how important the Pretoria time zone is going to become.
Well, we are right in the middle. Everyone really needs to just adjust to this. But yeah, that's basically it. So it's an ongoing project.
Thank you very much.
To see how much data it takes, etc. Tonight. Excuse the text.
Thank you very much.
Well, we must have the meetings 3 o'clock in the morning.
Everybody confirms to the US.
Yes, we can all stay there, we don't have to come out in the cold.
The last item that we want to discuss there, that was just our two projects.
CNC,
I
but I'll send you the link.
on
I can show you the link.
minimal side a little bit, and unfortunately, Cecil is not here tonight. He has had another important meeting, so or something to do tonight, so he couldn't attend tonight. Have you spoken to Cecil? Have you got any idea where he stands at the moment? Okay. Yeah. As far as the minimal is, also there's really no movement from last time. The castings, the next set of prototype castings are here in Littleton at VC Engineering, about 2 kilometers from here, 2-3 kilometers. They said that they would try in the next few weeks to get onto it. And the next few weeks would have started like 10 days ago. So hopefully next week or the week after that, we'll see some progress. They're lying next to the machine there, so they see them every day, and hopefully one day they will say, now let's challenge this job and do it now. That's basically where we stand. I'm working on the stand and all the other pans and things like that. I'm designing pans and trying to find somebody to make it and fold it and weld it together and so on. And working on the stand to improve that from our experiences with the other prototype that's now been running now for 3 months, almost 4 months. So it's not that there's nothing going on. There is a bit of design work. There's still a bit of selection and deciding. I've got a ball screw that comes from China, apparently preloaded. I've got to set up a jig to test it, and I've got to make the jig. So there is some work to be done and work that's going on, but basically that's where we stand. It doesn't help now to push the guys with the machining. I think they are so good that we would like to have them do the machine eventually, and we need to give them a bit of time, and I'm sure they will go to start on that, and we won't be disappointed in the end. They are definitely, I think, the best people that I've seen around here, maybe in the country, that can do this job for us. So that's where we stand at the moment. The first machine that's still in Alberton at the moment, they've made 7 knives on it now. Those 7 knives will be displayed and be sold next week, next Friday.
Yeah, the show is next week Friday and Saturday.
Next Friday. So after that, I think we can only show pictures. We won't be able to see them.
Yeah,
In a club. I mean.
no, we won't. If they're all sold, then those buyers you can take them on Friday.
So I'll take pictures and maybe, are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to be there probably.
Yeah.
So get it organized.
Yeah. So I'm going there next Friday. I'll take some pictures and I'm sure Eric will also have pictures.
Yeah, it's Mosaic Centrum it's close to Roodepoort, but I did put it on our website as well, so the link is ready in my level.
Yeah. So, and so far the feedback is good. The user, the maker, this knife maker is very happy with what he achieved.
Yeah, we just can't wait for the others to come now.
No, I know the pressure is building up, but they don't have to bother now, but next year's show already. First get this show on. Okay, thanks very much. I think that's all we have.
De proefkontrakt vir die nuwe mense net gou denkie was in die nul.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And the wire cutter?
Okay, you've seen it, you've seen it.
Ik heb dat dan gewoon niet te doen.
Omdat het een laagste stream is.
Verschillende. Maar wat van. Is er maar niet goed in. Het zal er allemaal. Nee, kan niet op de boer maar tussen. Maar niet. Maar die is like what is it? Like on something comes.
Oh, we zijn ook. Nee, dat is zo.
Okay, this is a model of the other big project that we have going on, where we've got the castings and we're ready to machine them now. We're just waiting for the machine to become available. This is the mini mill for those who haven't seen it. Sort of the table at the bottom, the fixed table, which is removable. It's fixed, it doesn't move, but you can remove it and put some accessories in there. And it's got a working space of about 400 by 300 by 200. And it's enclosed, so on a stand, you can really use a good coolant system. We've tested that now on the first prototype and it works quite well. And as you can see here, the movement is left and right. The one ball screw is driven here with this motor here through a pulley. It runs to the right, and there's a bearing on the right hand side. This ball screw is 600 millimeters long, and it's also 1605, same as what I used in the example. Then vertically, we've got a short 400 millimeter ball screw here driven by this motor at the top. I've just modeled here, for those who haven't heard it, we're going to fit a Siemens control onto this. And struggling now to rotate it. There's another motor here that's a Siemens motor, and this is also a Siemens motor that I pulled the models from the internet to see what it looks like. On this particular prototype, we've been donated a full Siemens control and 4 motors, so we're going to fit them onto this machine. This is the y-axis, which is a movement of 300 millimeters, and then it's got three rails, one on each side and one in the middle, you can see there. And then the vertical ones is of course in there. It's two vertical linear guides that guides the vertical one. The length is about 900 millimeters. The width is overall is about 650 millimeters. It's designed to go through a normal door. On a stand, I can give you an idea what it looks on a stand. Just to give you an idea. You can find it.
Probeer moeilijk baie groter as die lead chance.
Yeah, those are servo motors with absolute encoders. So it's got quite an encoder on the end, and the vertical one has got a brake as well. So that's why it looks a bit longer. Yeah. There it is on the stand, movable stand, and the idea is that you can move it and then screw it down onto the floor, that it's solid, standing solid. It's got a coolant tank. It's got it. I'm working on this drawer that I told you about to design that drawer that pulls out here for cleaning purposes, and it's got a little bucket at the back that you can pull out as well to where your shavings will be collected, and which you then can also clean outside of the machine. There you can see the linear guides. There's the ball screw, these are 20 millimeter linear guides. We've increased the size from the previous prototype. So this is now the full house system. And I'm just working on these parts to finalize this design. We built the prototype also on the stand, but we had to change the dimensions slightly to fit the new machine.
What's the projected cost of a machine like that?
Well, that's again, you know, you can make it as expensive if you want, or you can make it cheap. Some people will just buy the castings and do the rest themselves. Some people will buy the castings machined and then do the rest themselves. And some people say, no, we want a working machine. We're not going to do anything ourselves. So then you have to decide what accuracy ball screws you want to use, what accuracy linear guides you want to use, and so on. What motors you want to use. You want to use a Heidenhaus control, which costs 200,000, or you want to use a Siemens control, which costs 100,000, or you want a Linear control, which costs 30,000, and so on. They are, you know, there are different levels, and it's a variable scale. For our hobbyists to put it together with the cheapest way, but still reasonably accurate, I would say between sort of 40 and 50,000 in that area.
And what is the tooling that it uses?
The tooling is also a function of the spindle. We envisage eventually to have a tool changer also on it. There's a lot of future developments, fourth axis, a fifth, 5-axis. Eventually it will become a 5-axis machine. A tool changer with 10 tools or 20 tools or whatever, those kind of things are still in the future. This one shows a self-built spindle. So it depends. This is an ISO, not an ISO. It's a HSK 25 or a 32 or something like that. You know, if you want to make a tool changer. Some people will just buy a normal high-speed spindle with collets, you know, and put it on there. It depends what you want to do. It's got space. That's why we've got this space at the back here. It's in order to fit a tool changer in here at the back. That space there can be utilized for a tool changer. Either a small one on the one side for 10 or 12 tools and another one on this side, or one big one. You know, there's various options there. ISO 25 size maximum, ISO 30 is a little bit too big, or an HSK, depending on what's available and what you want to go for, and what speed you want. HSK is more suitable for high speed, and ISO 25 is more for lower speed. Okay. So I hope that gives you more or less an impression uh, of the other project that we're going on. These are removable windows so that you can put a long bar through here. The fourth axis will have a hollow shaft. You can put a long bar through there to work to machine on that. That's the idea to having those little windows there. And so on. For the tool changer, we'll have to cut a hole in this face here for the tools to go through, to come from the back. The idea is that the tool will come out, will rotate, and will come forward, and the spindle will come and fetch it, and then it will go back. We've got a design for that already, more or less. So.
And then proof of 5 hours.
Pardon?
5 hours on that.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I haven't looked at that for a while, so I can't find it now. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a sort of a design for a tool changer in the center. It's not finished. Sorry, I'm not really prepared now for this. I don't know where to put the stuff. Here's one. Belt. Oh, that's one design for the tool changer. It goes in as a unit at the back, and then takes this tool and brings it forward. This is size 25 tool holder, and it can take, I think, 12 if I remember right, and it moves forward and backwards and rotates, and it's run by a stepper motor, 2 stepper motors, one here and one here. But now to find that, I think it's. Previous design.
He's got a schedule.
No, I'm a bit at a loss now.
Graph, if you go to that minimal PDFs, you've got a sketch of your 4th axis there.
Ja, een van die output.
I think we find at least a drawing in here, what it looks like. Now I can't find it. I've messed around a bit. Sorry about that. Yeah,
You might go through a bit more like solid sketch, right? Yeah.
anyway. Start in on top of the 3 days will work. There it is. So you can see that's the trunnion table with the motor on the left hand side that tilts it around, result into that trunnion table. There you can see that's basically the hole that's required for the tool changer. That's just the base casting. And then there's also I don't know whether I've got it here. Is that one? Yeah. With page on here, we've got 7 pages. Maybe we'll show the rotary table. Now, those are the various options. That's with a 5-axis trunnion table. This is a with 4-axis table that can tilt. And this is a 4-axis with a chuck that, as I said, can take a bar through it, and it's also got a tailstock. So those are it's basically designed in concept, but the detailed design, bolting and drilling and threading and those kind of things can still be worked out and put into the drawings. And that's just the concept of the tool changer that goes into the back. And they are also talking, as I talk to people, they said, well, I want to do this and that. So we're also thinking of 3D printing with it and also doing engraving, laser engraving with it. And also, once you've got a 3-axis moving, there's a lot you can do with that. The fittings that you can fit. What I didn't show, let me go back here. The Z-axis has got a face that you can bolt things on. So you can take the spindle off and put another spindle on, or put a printing head on, or an engraving head or something like that. Kept it so that we can put up to 100 millimeter diameter spindle onto it by just making 2 brackets and bolting it on. It's got a face with bolt holes there and guides to hold it in position. That's an example of a cylindrical spindle, high-speed spindle with a bracket at the top and a bracket at the bottom. So that's a quick overview of the manual. It's also called a mesomole, according to a suggestion by Cecil, who's not here tonight. We should call it a mesomole because it's not a minimal and it's not a maximal. It's somewhere in between, and meso is somewhere in between. It started off as a minimal when it was still something in aluminium that you can almost pick up and move around. Now it's not that anymore. Any questions on that?
Prof met in die fietsstuk, prof se naam laat inskryf. Ja.
Daar's nie tyd daarvoor nie. Ons het baie dinge wat nog moet gedoen word. I'm working on these cable racking and so on to work out what's the best way to move the cables around. That's more difficult than designing a machine, just to get the cables in the right place. And the other thing that's taking quite an effort is to get the coolant system worked out so that the water, that you can really have high pressures, because people are using high-speed spindles, 24,000 RPM, and they're cutting at high speeds, you need to really blast the shavings out, especially if you cut something like aluminium and so on. You've got to blast it out. So you need high pressure, and that's what I'm trying to, from our experience with the first one, to make sure that the coolant can't spray all over the show and your walls and your floor and so on, the shavings. And so far, we spent a lot of effort to design a cover system here, but it turned out that there's hardly any shavings because we've got the running guides up here and we're cutting down here. There's hardly anything happening up here. So it's like a router, but it's different to a router that the cutting surface is much lower than the rails. In the router, the rails are, and the cutting surface is close to each other. And here we've got this cutting surface being much lower.
Wat om limit switches?
Excuse?
Waar sit Prof die limit switches?
Ja, dis 'n storie op sy eie. Ek het limit switches hier agter. Alles sit hier agter.
Op die horisontaal?
Die limit switches sit vir die horisontaal hier so en vir die vertikaal. En dan sit hulle hier onder, hier agter, daar binnekant sit hulle vir die AI's. So jy kan hulle nie sien nie, daar is een limit switch. Met die prototype wat ons nou eers gaan bou, is daar nie eers home switches nodig en altyd absolute encoders. So as jy hom afgesit het môre aan sit, weet hy presies waar hy is. Nooit, jy hoef net een keer op te stel reg in die begin. En dan hou hy dit. Maar goed, ons gaan seker nie baie van daai masjiene bou nie, want dit is 'n kos 'n klompie geld. Ja. 'n motor sonder 'n absolute encoder, 'n Siemens motor kos omtrent R10,000. As jy 'n absolute encoder installeer, kos hy R15,000. Dis nou met sy drywer, die motor plus die drywer.
Prof, is dit Siemens self wat die sponsor met die motors?
Excuse?
Is dit Siemens wat die sponsor met die motors?
Die hele stelsel, ja.
Dis waar.
Hulle wil ook 'n minimal hê wat hulle gebruik vir opleidingsdoeleindes. Want hulle besluit hulle gaan vir ons 'n hele stelsel gee. En hulle hoop natuurlik dat hier nog 'n paar ryk hier rond is wat ook gaan sien.
Wat is die stelsel dit? 81D of so?
Dis 'n 81D, maar 'n D-advanced ene. Wat meer funksies het is nie die heel basiese een, dis die tweede een. Maar die basiese een is net 3 asse. En om een as buite te kry moet jy na die advanced te gaan. So dit is, ons hoop om dit alles, dis op pad van Duitsland af, ons hoop, miskien volgende maand kan ek dit vir julle wys, hoe lyk dit goed. Ok, ek dink dis al wat ons het vir vanaand. Julle kan nog gesels en bespreek met so maar ons beleggings is nou klaar. Dankie vir jou moeite hoor, ek hoop die ander se
Ja, ek het laaste stukkie mooi gefokus.
Yeah, we both also trying to pioneer the pricing. So you start. Yeah, just